term a bit. She was saying, okay, universal and objective means it must exist outside of people, but it doesn't really mean that. It just means
it's either going to exist within people or it's going to be a law of physics. This is not a law of physics. It's got a human component. So, yes, I suppose it could be subjective.
But here's the point. What makes it objective or subjective is not its persistence in the absence of humans. Taylor's right about pointing that out for sure. But it's also not. But also your answer about conflating good and bad with pleasure and pain, and not being able to adequately define a moral distinction between good and versus a sensation distinction between pleasure versus a self-interest angle, like, is pragmatically wise. Okay, it's true that the person you responded to didn't make that distinction, but it's not true that that distinction can't be made, and it's not true that making that distinction doesn't better represent reality than failing to make that distinction. So while you may have defeated the person you were arguing against, you didn't defeat the position at all. And I think with good reason you didn't defeat the position, because morality is universal in the sense that I don't want any other person on the planet to violate my rights. It's not like I want nobody to violate my rights except for Susie and Taylor. That I don't want them to violate my rights either. So it's universal from my perspective in terms of who I don't want to do violence to me. The answer is I don't want anyone to do violence to me. Now, you might say, those people over there want to be able to do violence to other people. So therefore, the morality is not universal. No, but the morality is universal. It's how we know they're fucked up.
Or ENFJs.
They're fun, ENFJs. They have a lot of words that sound just like they mean things.
It's transubstantiate. It's a long word. A lot of syllables in that safe word.
Now, if there were no God, how could I pull so many bong rips and still be awake? If there were no God, why do I have Adderall?
Chemists.
Wouldn't it be immoral of me to deny you any of your claims?
No. Why would that be immoral?
No, it would bother you, and you have every right to believe whatever you want.
Okay, but that's the thing. You denying me, you're making your own claims then. So if I'm saying, hey, you can't deny my claims, then I can't deny your claims, and that's why it doesn't pass reciprocal burdens. My expression is exempted. But if I have to make a distinction between physical and metaphysical worlds and exert metaphysical punishments for metaphysical crimes, that's why shaming is a good thing.
If believing in God was a metaphysical crime, you would be the only one hurt by me denying you the fact.
But metaphysical crimes aren't things like that. Metaphysical crimes are things like bullying somebody verbally.
Yeah.
Wait, isn't that how you institute social change?
With shaming, right?
So then metaphysical violence can be good or bad.
Yeah.
So different circumstances necessitate that there might be a situation in which it's best to bash into toddler's head with a shovel.
So morals is outcome oriented.
No, that's the point. Is that there are circumstances, true, but there are clear, distinct ways to adjudicate each one. So basically, if the toddler was attacking you in a way that legitimately threatened your life and wouldn't stop until you finished with the last head bash, then I guess it would be legitimate. But we have clear, bright lines as to delineate those instances when it is and those instances when it's not. Reality tells us toddlers will not attack you with such violent force that an adult male can do nothing but bash its head in until it dies with a shovel. I'm pretty sure most people are not going to find a sympathetic jury for their self-defense claim. Why did you bash in that 2-year-old's head with a shovel? I was afraid for my life. If I'm a cop, maybe I get away with that. But
we're enough seasons into The Walking Dead that a good lawyer could get a jury that would believe it.
I mean, if it's a cop who bashes a toddler's head in, he gets an award for bravery.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, the point is, it's true that not every you can find exceptions to every general situation and say, but if the general situation manifested like this, then it would be okay. But that is proof of the universality of it because it accounts for all factors, right? So it says basically, you have a moral obligation not to interfere with the rights of another, and that to the apparent exceptions are actually examples of the other forfeiting their rights because they've committed some rights violation to begin with.
Okay, good point. I don't really, for some reason, I don't want to agree, but I do.
Thank you. Thank you for both of those. I appreciate both of those. Okay, anybody else have any comments on universal morality? We didn't really get into God much. I'll say that for another video, maybe. But because I do have my proof of God's existence proof, which is not really a proof per se, but
good accomplishment. But that's not proof.
that's why I said proof. Okay, it's different than a proof. It's a proof.
It doesn't. No, it doesn't get that word at all.
Okay, it's a proof.
But universal morality.
It's your own
Everyone
personal
has
magical.
different morals.
Say again, Susie.
People have different definitions of morality, so how can there be a universal one?
Well, everyone's definition of morality is the same insofar as it's a set of dictates regarding normative issues, what ought to be, rather than what is or what will be, either descriptive or predictive. So we know at least that we can narrow down morality to the adjudication of normative claims. Now, is there a single morality that does that correctly to the exception of all other moralities? Yes. It's called the negative rights framework. It logically follows from the fact that you own your own body. And if we all adhered to it, there wouldn't be any crime, there wouldn't be any oppression, there wouldn't be anything that was bad that wasn't just.
Wouldn't be any Muslims.
There wouldn't be any Muslims. Islam would be entirely different if people respected a negative rights paradigm as a universal morality. There wouldn't be any drug laws. There wouldn't be any bullshit. I advocate, as President Strauss in 2020, I will bring America to a bullshit-reduced future. I will reduce the total amount of bullshit in the present, and I will put in mechanisms in place to see to it that bullshit reduction be the way of the future as well. And gradually, bit by bit, we can return this country to a bastion of liberty, justice, and peace.
Hey,
Amen.
what percentage of the women's vote do you think?
All of them?
Even the ones you yelled?
I wasn't wearing this hat last night, Taylor. When I go on the campaign trail, the Puss Slayer hat goes on, and all the chicks vote for me, okay? And if this doesn't work, Taylor, then you schmooze them for me. You're going to be on the ticket or something. I assume you'd be my vice presidential candidate, but I think I already offered the position to somebody else, but that's okay. I'll kick them out if I have to.
Okay.
So, yeah, I think you'd be a good vice president. You do really well with getting the chick votes, and I could get the angry white males, and together with the chicks and the angry white males, we're sure to win.
I think angry white males is more my niche too.
No, you're the puss, the puss whisperer.
I I don't even want that. Either.
Hello. I picture you leaning down, getting up close, going, "Hello there. What seems to be the problem?"
Are you still recording?
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
We
Thank you,
hopefully-
Susie. And thank you for watching Tiger Thirds, people.
You have to leave that in.
Yeah, it's going straight up. I'm not gonna edit that. That's perfect. It's so much more difficult editing it than not.
Right.
Random endings.
Which one?
Is that the one that's missing?
What? In the envelope, I think. Let me see it, just in case it's an envelope or something else. Do you need a copy of it for them? Or
Horizon, yeah. And
for Horizon? Why?
showing that mom's not the guardian anymore. Temporary.
Before you have this changed over, make sure that they don't transfer the bill.
I pictured a movie poster, and it's got kind of like a gray, wintry scene or whatever, like the backdrop. But then in the front, it shows like there's a cozy nook tucked away, like behind these like moss covered bridges or something, and there's a indication of there had been some sort of problem. I'm not sure what. There's some sort of problem that's occurred. And it's two panels. First is the panel of a man approaching a woman who's sitting on a bench and she's sobbing, right? And then the second panel, he's kneeling down, whispering. And this Christmas. And then you have to have some sort of stuff about how something really serious and important about understanding the human experience. And then Puss Whisperer, Christmas 2018.
Christmas 2018.
Yeah. It'll be a Christmas classic. It'll be like every year they show, It's a Wonderful Life. Every year they show Charlie Brown Christmas. Every year they show Puss Whisperer. It'll be a holiday tradition. And the thing is, it's not pornographic at all. It's all about a guy who develops a magic power to cure women's emotional and mental challenges if they have them by whispering into their puss.
I am not affiliated with that.
Well, I'm going to try to cast some of the big name stars in this film. I want.
Who's Puss?
All right. Well, I'm thinking we'll get like a name actress to be the main actress. So like I don't know, it could be like somebody older, like what's that lady who played Rachel on Friends? Name.
There it is. Don't actually
What's her
do
name?
that. Don't whisper into anybody's puss because you might get hit or the cops might be called on you and you might get like a restraining order and all of that.
Jennifer Aniston can play the puss, okay? Now, for the Puss Whisperer, I want it to be a 2-generational thing. The first generation,
I know.
it's a backstory. We'll get Ed Begley Jr. to be the Puss Whisperer back in the olden days. And then
Ass Whisperer. The ass.
Christopher Glover to be the Ass Whisperer in the contemporary times. Now you've made the sequel. Ass Whisperer is the sequel, obviously.
Ass Screamer.
Ass Screamer is the sequel. The same storyline, except the guy's magic power requires him to literally scream into a woman's anus.
Dry.
Oh,
Can you hear me? Me?
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm sure everybody's happy to hear you instead of me at this point. Go ahead, Ken.